to all in your own channel NCERT e-teaching, and today I am going to discuss about chapter number 3 of class 12th biology, and today's topic is the male reproductive system. In my previous video I have discussed the female reproductive system, and I have also discussed some concepts about gametogenesis in males as well as in females. So here I included this diagram of TS of testicles, which are the primary or essential sex organs in human male body. Why they are called primary organs or essential sex organs? Because as I have discussed previously in my videos, they are making gametes or sperms. So because they are making gametes, they are called primary organs. The testicles I am talking about, and rest of the organs, ducts and glands, are called secondary or accessory sex organs. Let's start our video and go in detail. So first, the topics which we are going to cover in this section are male reproductive system, simple, and gametogenesis. And gametogenesis I also covered in my previous video also in the female reproductive system. If you want to check that video, that will be helpful for you. I will put the link in description. You can go and check out. What previous knowledge we need to have before understanding this topic? As I have discussed in my previous video also, that about cell division cycle, we must have some idea from chapter number 10 class 11th biology, both mitosis and meiosis. Then about hormones, chapter number 22, and then about our nervous system and brain, chapter number 21. One more thing which I have discussed several times, the process of sexual reproduction includes in animals in particular includes three things: gametogenesis, mating, and fertilization. So gametogenesis means making gametes. It is called spermatogenesis in human males, and oogenesis in human females, and fertilization, which is fusion of gametes. And before fusion of gametes, we need to bring together those gametes. This bringing gametes together is called spawning or mating. So we will focus only third topic, because they are common in all animals. They have many similarities, and when we talk about mating, it has many diversities. So only these topics are included in our syllabus, very important for board examination as well as for NEET examination. So this is a side view of male reproductive system. One diagram is taken from NCERT and another from another book. So we need to pay extra attention for any NCERT diagram. So class 12th biology students, we have 16 chapters in our NCERT for this session, and for any chapter, whether it is difficult or easy, whether it is memory based or understanding based, there will be several type of chapters. But yes, the tables which are given in NCERT, the data which is given in NCERT, the examples which are given in NCERT, plus the diagrams which are given in NCERT, we need to practice them, memorize them. Okay, we need to use all the tricks to memorize them, because they will be very important for us for examination point of view. So let's discuss this diagram. So we have a male reproductive system, and which is also connected with human excretory system. You have learnt about human excretory system in class 7th, in class 10th, in class 11th also. So you are very familiar with these systems. Plus you are familiar with testicles and ovary also, because you have learnt in class 11th and 10th and 8th also about the endocrine nature of testicles and ovaries. And of course you are having idea of human reproduction from class 8th and from class 10th also. So you are having many concepts in your mind when you are familiar with the diagrams. So these are the structures: ureter, seminal vesicle, urinary bladder, vas deferens, prostate gland, penis, urethra, glans penis, foreskin, testicles, scrotum, bulboethrum. Oh, there are so many labelings, how to remember them? See, these are the primary organs. Testicles we all know. Okay, testicles will make sperms or male gametes, and that is why they are called primary sex organs. So this is how we can understand. They will make gametes, and those sperms will go into a tube. That tube is called vas deferens. Okay, this is the labeling, vas deferens. Let me refresh the labelings. Okay, then after vas deferens, they will go. See, this is urinary bladder. That is why I was talking about the excretory system. So behind this urinary bladder, this tube will meet with urethra. You know what is urethra? If you have understood the XIT system, we know that urethra is the common tube which originates from urinary bladder. So let's talk about kidney system. Let me show you another view that will be helpful for you. Okay, this is the front view of the same system. So if I make artificially, let's make kidneys also. If these are kidneys, I think you are very familiar with the kidneys, okay, from class 7th, 10th and 11th we have learned in so many times. Then we have ureter. I know that you know about ureter. So we have two ureter, each from one kidney. It goes into the urinary bladder. Then we have urethra for excretion, and urethra is in one organ which is called penis. Okay, this organ is called penis. So why I am discussing XIT system? Because the urethra is the common tube both for urine and for semen. Semen is a liquid which have sperms or male gametes. So this is the connection between excretory system and reproductive system in human males. That is why I was discussing. And in front view you will be easily understand. You will easily understand. So we have two pairs of testicles, like we have two pairs of kidneys. Okay, this is the internal of structure of testicle. This is the external structure of the testicle. And from testicle one tube emerges which is called vas deferens. This tube will go behind the urinary bladder and it will merge with the urethra. This point I wanted to make clear. But see, testicle will make or testis. See, TES TES is the singular term. TES will be the plural term. Okay, and then testicle is also one term which is for singular, and testicles is plural. There will be different terms used in different books. So testes or testicles will make sperms. Sperms will go into vas deferens and ultimately they will go into the urethra. So the urethra will be common passage for urine as well as for semen along with sperms. So what do you mean by semen? See, you can see some glands: seminal vesicle, prostate gland, bulbourethral gland. So there are some structures or glands which are also connected with urethra before sperms are going into the urethra. So those glands will make some secretions, and those secretions all together or combinedly they are called semen. Okay, so what do you mean by semen? Semen is very simple. It is the collection of some secretions of glands plus the sperms. So this is how we can understand the structure of male reproductive system. I am repeating again, it will be difficult for you to understand, but if you have paid attention in class 8 and 10th, so some terms you already remember or know. Okay, so I have made clear the function of this ureter is made to clarify the concept. It is urinary bladder to clarify the location. Testicles, this structure is also called epididymis. Okay, we will learn about that also. So actually testis makes sperms, they get mature in epididymis and then they go into vas deferens, and they seminal, these are seminal vesicles, they will make semen. These small bulbourethral glands are there, and this is the prostate gland. So there are many glands, these are some major glands, and they will make some secretions. And one more concept you can understand here, so it will be easier for you to understand reproductive health in next chapter. If we cut this tube from here, okay, what will happen theoretically if we cut and tie this tube from here and here? See, these glands, seminal vesicle, prostate gland and bulbourethral gland will make semen. They will secrete some liquids. This is what we call semen. So urethra or the penis will secrete what? It can release urine also, it can release semen also. But if you cut this tube from here, then sperms will be get produced here, they will get mature here, they will go in vas deferens, but they cannot reach here. So this is how a male will not have sperms in semen. This is a method of contraception. Okay, so when you have understanding of male and female reproductive system, then it will be easier for you to understand the methods, some methods, surgical methods of contraception in the next chapter. So if you are preparing chapter number 3, it will be helping you in the preparation of chapter number 4 also. So I hope I made these things clear. It is one diagram with narrations also. These narrations you can take a screenshot. You can see these narrations will help you to understand different functions of different parts. Okay, and it will clarify your concept. And for the side view, again I have some another diagram. You can take that screenshot also. So when you see, only merely seeing these diagrams, merely understanding or listening my discussion will not help you. You need to be an active reader or active listener. You need to have copy and pen or pencil, and you need to practice the diagrams, because how much important these diagrams are, you will come to know when you will practice previous year questions of board examination as well as NEET examination, as I have said in my previous video also. So this is about the anatomy and structure of the male reproductive system. One more thing, when we see the TS or the slice of testicle, what you will see, as you know about the kidneys in class 11th and class 10th, that kidneys are the collection of nephrons, not I am saying in oversimplified way. Actually they are collection of tubes in systematic manner. Same here, testicle is also a collection of some tubes or tubules, small tubes. Those tubes are called seminiferous tubules. Okay, seminiferous tubules. And when you see the cut section or the slice, how a cylinder looks like, it looks like spheres or circles. So these circles are seminiferous tubules. So you can label TS of testis also, because TS of testis is also included in your practical examination, and you will see better diagrams in your practical lab manual. So you can refer that also. Okay, now, so these are seminiferous tubules. So the sperm production or the site of sperm productions are seminiferous tubules in the testicles. In seminiferous tubules you will see so many spherical cells here. So many cells you can see, cells, then layer of cells, then layer of cells, and finally you will see sperms. If you can identify, these are the sperms. See, let me make this diagram side. See, if this is a seminiferous tubule, we have some cells. Those cells will divide mitotically, they will make more cells, they will divide meiotically, they will make more cells, finally they will make sperms like this. So they will arrange like this, tails in the center, their heads in the periphery. So you will have a structure like this. Okay, now one labeling is here, which is called spermatogonia, spermatozoa. What do you mean by this? And the interstitial cells. Okay, we have some gaps between these seminiferous tubules. These gaps or the cells between these gaps are called interstitial cells. These are also called Leydig cells. Leydig cells. Okay, you will see more appropriate or more better diagrams in your lab manual. So these Leydig cells or interstitial cells secretes testosterone. So till now in class 8th, in class 10th, in class 11th, what we learned? We learned that okay, testicles produce sperms. They are actually primary sex organs. They are responsible for gametogenesis or spermatogenesis, and they are also secreting testosterone, which is a male hormone, which is responsible for secondary sexual characters in males at the time of puberty or adolescence, and plus it is also responsible for helping in fertilization, in reproduction. So this was the function, or these are the functions of testicles we have learned. But now you can pinpoint the differences where these things are happening. So actually sperm production is happening inside the seminiferous tubule. Now you can see the location, and the testosterone is made by the interstitial cells, which are also called Leydig cells. So now you can say okay, Leydig cells are the cells which their location is in between the seminiferous tubules, or they are also called interstitial cells. They make testosterone, and spermatogonia inside the seminiferous tubule are responsible for making sperms. I have discussed some points of spermatogenesis in my previous video also. You can check out of the female reproductive system for comparison point of view. Plus we have some cells which are called spermatogonia, which will make sperms. But not only spermatogonia, we have some extra cells also. They are called Sertoli cells or nurse cells. Sertoli cells, I will show you. So Sertoli cells, so we have three type of cells. Interstitial cells in between the seminiferous tubules, which will secrete testosterone, one function. Spermatogonia, second type of cells which will make sperms in the seminiferous tubule, second function. And we have Sertoli cells also, third type of cells, which will provide nutrition to the sperms, which will provide shelter to the sperms and defense to the sperms. Okay, they will help spermatogonia to make sperms. So we have different, as we have discussed different parts of female reproductive system in my previous video. and we have discussed several concepts. Here are also many concepts. So see, this was the diagram. I have shown only spermatogenesis here, but in my previous video I have showed comparison of spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Very simple to understand. Spermatogonia, I am repeating in very brief. Spermatogonia are the cells which are diploid, which will divide mitotically, and they will make many spermatogonia. Any spermatogonium which will undergo into first meiotic division, which is called primary spermatocyte. After first meiotic division, it will become haploid, and it is called a secondary spermatocyte. Secondary spermatocyte will complete second meiotic division, and we have 4 cells from one spermatogonium or from one spermatocyte, and these cells are called spermatids. They will transform into spermatozoa, which is called spermiogenesis. Okay, so you can label these cells also. Here you will see very less labeling because it is in your NCERT textbook. If you see the laboratory manual, you will have many labeling, or very easy to, if you understand this process, as I have discussed in my previous video also. So you can simply label this cell as spermatogonia. Next cell you can label like primary spermatocyte. This cell you can label like secondary spermatocyte. This cell you can label like spermatid. This cells you can label like sperm. So no need to remember labeling also. If you remember the process of gametogenesis or spermatogenesis, you can also label the TS of testicle, which is also helpful in the practical syllabus also. So this is how we can connect different concepts. So okay, this diagram, see, this is also taken as it is from NCERT, and this from another book which have some narrations. So this diagram will help you to correlate both the diagrams. As I have said that you can correlate the structure of testicle inside plus the process of sperm formation. Here you can see how spermatogonium, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatocyte, same thing but different diagram. This is a realistic, more realistic diagram. Previous one was the flow diagram, and the TS of testicle was the more realistic, again even more realistic diagram. So you can compare. Again same diagram here, but you can see Sertoli cells also. Here you can see Sertoli cells, but this type you can see very big Sertoli cell here. So this Sertoli cell will remind you the function of Sertoli cell, to provide nutrition, to provide defense, to provide shelter, everything for spermatogenesis. So I am repeating again, very important. My students confuse many times in Sertoli cells and Leydig cells. Sertoli cells are inside the seminiferous tubule. What do you mean by seminiferous tubule? Seminiferous tubules are the tube-like structures in testicles, and actual process of sperm production happens in seminiferous tubules. And we can find 2 types of cells: spermatogonium or spermatogonia plural, and Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells will provide nutrition. You see, envelopes, nourishes and protects the developing sperms. Sertoli cells are nurse cells. Spermatogonia makes sperms, and rest of the cells which are in between the seminiferous tubules, which are called Leydig cells or interstitial cells, those cells make testosterone. So we must not confuse. These are simple concepts, and many times I have seen questions in many examinations. So this is about spermatogenesis and structure of testicles. Now okay, this diagram also will help us to understand spermatogenesis. Same diagram with different flavor. So previous diagram was a flow chart. Now you can see this also is showing the hypothetical chromosomal structures, so that you can understand that primary spermatocyte, there is no difference in spermatogonium or male germ cell or primary spermatocyte. Same number of chromosome is there. The only difference is the number of DNA, because we know that before any cell division, whether it is mitosis or meiosis, DNA doubles in the S phase of cell cycle, and after doubling of DNA, that separation of DNA or the distribution of DNA happens in the form of chromosomes. If you want to understand this process, you must recall meiosis and mitosis from chapter number 10, class 11 biology, cell division, cell cycle. So if you understand that process, you will understand this process easily. Okay, so there cell division, meiosis, spermatogenesis and the structure of testicle, these all are interrelated concepts. This is the hormonal regulation. I will request you to refer my previous video about the hormonal interaction of female reproductive system and pituitary and hypothalamus. Same type of regulation is here. Hypothalamus is the part of the brain which secretes LH and FSH, gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH, which will go to pituitary gland, and it will stimulate anterior pituitary to make two hormones, luteinizing hormone LH and follicle stimulating hormone FSH. Why LH and FSH names? When you will learn about female reproductive system, you will come to know why they were given names like this. But here the function will be different. Hormones are the same. Here luteinizing hormone will stimulate Leydig cells. Now you know what are Leydig cells? The interstitial cells in between the seminiferous tubules. What are the function? Very simple to understand. The function of Leydig cells was to secrete testosterone. Okay. So if you know the concepts, you will understand everything. The hormonal connection, the structures, the flow charts. You will be able to make connections. And in biology, we need to make connections. So when we will proceed in our syllabus, when we will learn about molecular biology, genetics, evolution, biotechnology, there are so many concepts, they are intertwined. You will come to learn in upcoming chapters. So follicle stimulating hormone will stimulate Sertoli cells. What are Sertoli cells? They are inside the seminiferous tubules. Inside seminiferous tubules we have two types of cells. First, spermatogonia or sperm making cells. Second, Sertoli cells. Third type of cells are Leydig cells in between the seminiferous tubule cells or outside of the seminiferous tubules. They make testosterone. So this is how you can know the different actions or locations of these events. Otherwise in class 8th and 10th we already know the function of testicles is to make hormones, is to make sperms, and the function of pituitary to control them. But now we can pinpoint the functions. Okay. Then two more things here. Testosterone secreted by testicles or secreted by Leydig cells in the testicles, which are interstitial cells in between the seminiferous tubules, and inhibin, new thing, inhibin secreted by Sertoli cells. Inhibin is a inhibitory hormone that inhibits FSH production. Okay, so this is what you call negative and positive feedback. This thing I have also discussed in my previous video of female reproductive system. You can refer that video by following the link in the description. Otherwise you can recall the chapter number 22. If you recall the chapter number 22 in class 11, then you will come to know what do you mean by negative and positive feedback. Okay, so very simple to understand. In our body, when it comes to hormones, the product of any event will ultimately stop that process. And a very effective way to produce, if you can imagine, see, hypothalamus is stimulating pituitary to make some hormones, and because of the action of these hormones we have another hormones. If these hormones are in sufficient quantity, you can understand that we no longer need these hormones. That is why this hormone is inhibiting these processes. If we have these hormones in lesser quantity, for example in the start of puberty, then hypothalamus will detect this situation and it will secrete more hormone. It will lead to more hormone secretion. This is what we call negative feedback. Okay, then actually when I planned to make videos of this chapter number 3, human reproduction, I planned 3 videos, the male reproductive system, then the female reproductive system, and then fertilization and implantation. But I made the female reproductive video first. That is why I mentioned that okay, my next video will be female reproductive system. Otherwise I will not, my next video will be now the implantation and fertilization. We will learn more concepts. So till now we have discussed 2 systems, the female reproductive system and the male reproductive system, and when understanding these systems we have learned something about practical syllabus also, and many concepts we have learned which will help us to understand chapter number 4, the human reproductive health also. So I will end my video here and we will meet in our next video. Thank you so much for your patient listening.